I'm Tail Oracle, and this is the worst card in the deck. The whole deck, this is the worst card. Let me explain why. Again, this is just my opinion based upon things I've read and how I have seen it take place. So, this is the Princess of Wands, or Earth of Fire. So, what I mean by that is very energetic, very go get it and have fun and enjoy, but a little bit too much, a little bit too self-assured, a little bit too energetic, a little bit too much of everything. When ill-dignified, it is the ultimate drama queen. And I say this, like story, every morning I'll draw a tarot card, like how's my day going to be, whatever. And I got this one day, and I'm like, oh, come on. It was a Saturday. I'm like, all right, all I need to do is go get some groceries today, and then I'm just going to hang out here, do some painting or whatever. So I get in my car, and I go to the store, and coming out, I have a near miss with this dude. A near miss, you know, your cars go, and you're like, okay, cool, and you keep going. So you wave, and you're like, sorry about that. So this guy is sitting behind the wheel. He's in front of me, so I can't go. This guy sitting behind the wheel, just yelling at the top of his lungs, just screaming, like jumping up and down almost, yelling and pointing at me and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? So I'm like, waving. I'm like, I'm nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. Whoever's fault it was. It's in a parking lot So he just sits there and yells and yells and yells. And I'm like, all right, so apparently he's taking all of his life hate and frustrations out on me for a near miss in the parking lot. So the dude I'm just like waving, like trying to de-escalate. And so finally he gets out of his car. I'm like, oh, come on. Like for a near miss? Like how psychotic is this guy? So I disconnect my dash cam, from the mount, and I like show it to him. You know what I'm saying? I like to show it to him. And I think he gets the idea. He gets back into his car, and then, still yelling, drives off. I'm like, man, that could have went really bad. But that's what I get. That's what I got for the ultimate drama queen or king in this particular case. So, ill-dignified. This is one of those things a lot of people ask me, can you do video on reversal? And that's one of those things. You look at a little bit too energetic, a little bit too much, a little bit maybe as per the understanding the Thoth Tarot on Motto de Cat, he actually says can be downright dangerous to be around. So she has that dance, and the dance is with the tiger, and embracing that tiger and embracing the little bit of danger, the little bit of drama, the little bit of the spice, yes? So when you do a reversal, if you do standard reversals of it's the opposite, well, it would be, maybe a little bit less energetic, but no, this is the ultimate drama queen. So again, I pulled that, I got the dude, I had to show him my camera to get him to stop raging. I mean, this is what happened to me. And when I draw this, by the way, no matter what, if it's upright or if it's upside down, whatever, I will actually tell the person, like, what are you not telling me? Or what's going on? What's really going on? What are you not telling me? And every time they'll give me some story about something else that's going on that's affecting this or something like that. So, it's one of those things, no matter where it is, it always brings a little bit of spice, a little of the dance with the tiger, per se, yes? So a little bit of the spice, a little bit of the dance with the tiger, a little bit of that wave of fire, maybe some unpredictability. So that is Earth of Fire, or the Princess of Wands. And now we come to the Queen of Wands, or Water of Fire. A little bit of emotion in that fire. And here we have the Queen of Wands is a steady force, is a steady active force, by the way. I mean, pretty much adaptable, does things that she needs to do, and she's very reliable and maybe a little bit domineering. If ill-dignified, maybe a little bit domineering. But overall, she's very strong and powerful. And you could see her sort of taming the cheetah, yes? So the very, very dominant, robust crown with all of the light rays coming out, this dominant, prominent hair coming down, very fiery, turning into almost like electricity, almost like bolts of fire, lightning. So this is a very powerful person. Could be an executive, could be maybe a CEO, could be somebody that you really need, that's going to be reliable, dependable, and very strong woman. So again, with the water element as well, we have a bit of the gentle side. So it's a nice mix as far as the queen goes. So having a bit of that water, you're going to have that emotional side, or maybe a bit of the fire side. Not as much spice as Dancing with the Tiger, but maybe a bit of the spice, a bit of the control, a bit of the domineering, again, if ill-dignified. But overall, this is going to be a very strong woman. And we see this a lot, right? See this within our community where I have a dentist who is like the most amazing dentist ever, and she's very strong. She knows exactly what's wrong. She knows exactly what to do. She tells me like it is. She doesn't, she doesn't dance around with anything. She just goes straight to the point and is very strong and knowledgeable. She knows pretty much everything. Every question I have, she'll come up with some details about it that I've never even heard about before. So one of those things is going to be a very prominent member of the community or something like that. So when we draw this card, and maybe we're drawing in a relationship, maybe we're looking for the lovers. So maybe I have a reading with a relationship reading, and I'm definitely going to have a new love in my life, and the love in my life is a strong and independent woman, which is awesome. So you have a bit of the fire within this woman as well. This is not going to be like the Queen of Cups, for example. We have this overwhelming emotion or this big burst of emotion. It's going to be fire. It's going to be confidence. It's going to be a little bit of that domineering as well, and a lot of strength and power. And that's a person that I'm going to meet in this particular case. So again, easy to remember when we have this, someone's looking for love. He's going to get his love with a strong, domineering woman, or if the lady's looking for love and she's lesbian, then she gets a strong, domineering woman as well. So either way, we have this character taming the cheetah with a control. The cheetah's there almost as a guard, but definitely being controlled by the woman. So that is the Queen of Wands. So now we come to the Prince of Wands, our heir of fire, with the mark of the beast on him, which is quite interesting. So it says that the character is noble and generous, but with that air, you have that rapid movement. You have rapid goings around, not only with the excitement of the fire or with the power of the fire, but mixing in the air, you can see has caused just this explosion. And you see sort of that explosion in almost every one of these cards, right? We have that just explosive power of the queen. We have the dance, the dance of the tiger with the movement, almost like a carnival ride or something like that, where you're just sort of riding along. And then we have the knight with all of the burst as well. So there's a lot of action, of course, being fire within this courts. And here is no exception. Now, this is supposedly a violent person as well, so you can take that into consideration. But the main thing that it says for this is going to be obviously swift or fast, right? This person's not going to sit around. Maybe it's a bit of an action type person. This person likes to go skydiving. They like to go here. They like to go there. Not probably going to be the best sitting at home type person to where you just have, sort of chilling at the house. So, I mean, you definitely have this feeling of action and adventure with the air mixing into the wands. But again, this is a strong person with all fire court cards. This is going to be a strong person, knows where he wants to go, knows how he wants to get there. Now, mixed with air, he's also going to be a very strong communicator, maybe almost like an Aries type situation, where just goes straight to the point, doesn't like to, muddle around into the details, probably not big into small talk, but we have that domineering or that excitable communication because we're looking at air and wands. And again, Probably not the one to be sitting at home. Definitely is going to be full force, full drive, and motivated, and probably a very busy person as well. So again, if we look at the relationship cards, we say what type of person am I going to meet? Obviously, the court card is always going to be people. For the most part, people are like a group of people or sort of like an attribute of a person. So, you know, who am I going to meet? We have a lover's relationship. It's going to be sort of an Aries type, very strong, definite communications, not going to mess around, and probably likes to get stuff going, probably very busy. You may be competing to get some of his time, right? That's a lot of times we'll have that with people that are really busy or people that are really motivated and strong-willed and things like this. With the direct communication, doesn't like to fiddle around, likes to go straight to the point. You could have one of those situations to where they're just really busy and they don't have time for you. And we see that a lot. You'll be dating and the person is great. You get along really well. However, they just don't have time for you. You don't have time for them. So it could be looking at one of the situations. But if you get him in a reading, you definitely want to sort of lean in that direction and be like, you know, maybe you want to find out how busy this person is, what kind of industry this person is in, and find out if this is going to be a long-term type thing because of the air in fire. And that is the Prince of Wands. And speaking of active and action-packed, we finally come to the Knight of Wands. Again, very fierce, sudden, explosive energy. Again, you can see this sort of this wind or this burst, explosion of energy. You see the explosion of energy going this way and also explosion of energy going down as well and sort of curling back up. So it seems it has nowhere to go. It needs to curl back up, or you have another source of explosive energy here, and then you have the rays going out as well. So very, very energetic, and the knight goes and gets it and just sort of explodes onto the scene. This is going to be pretty much the fire of fire, right? This is going to be a very thrilling person, a person, again, you know, as well as doesn't sit around. I don't think any of these sit around. And I keep saying that, but you get the general idea, right? Fire, it's the element of fire. They're going to go get it, they're going to go do it, and this one in particular is going to be the fire of fire, or basically the most explosive choice between any of these personalities. Definitely maybe a Sagittarius or an Aries or something like that goes and gets it done. So definitely going to be hard to keep up with this person. It may be hard to even understand what they're doing. So one of those people that you just kind of let do what they do. You don't get in their way. This person will definitely roll you over if you were to get in their way. So again, a lot of fire elements, a lot of explosive energy, and a lot of types of people that are going to be, again, dominant and things like that. Now, all of these are labeled as when ill-dignified, that they may be cruel. So I would say in general, if you find any of these being ill-dignified, you're going to look at a bad situation, probably for you. So maybe not so much for them, but most likely for you. So stay out of their way. Be nice and let them do what they do. The fire element is always sort of interesting. So, you know, if we have a love relationship or we have a love connection with this person, it definitely could be a physical soulmate. Again, look at my video that I should have out soon about soulmates. Physical soulmate is going to be the one that just comes on the scene, you have instant attraction with, but doesn't really last that long. It's not like a long-term commitment. It's more of a big physical boom, and then once the physical boom is over, then this person goes on to the next physical boom person, which may not be you. So definitely could be a physical soulmate. You could be looking at someone who's adventurous, maybe Sagittarius again, or an Aries, or somebody who just doesn't mess around and goes straight forward. So fire of fire, definitely looking at the Lord of the Flame and Lightning, as the formal title is. obviously in any business situation. These are going to be successful people. Maybe not her, but these are going to be successful people. These are going to be people that are going to make a splash wherever they go. You get one of these within a job interview, they're definitely going to stand out amongst all the other people. You know, it's one of those things to where you just gotta love the fire element, whether it be fire, water, fire, or earth of fire. You really have to just love the element of fire, and this is so prominent. And again, one of the reasons why I love the Thoth deck, it's so easy to read. It's so obvious to read all of these. So again, this wonderful, wonderful deck, and one of the most interesting court card combinations we have, especially the Princess of Wands. And speaking of wonderful people, I have all these wonderful supporters on Patreon. What is that, you ask? That is where you can support me by giving me a couple of bucks a month. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps with all the costs of software, etc. And it's a place where you can support me and allow me to make even more videos and more tutorials. We have the Solabuska coming up. We have the Yi Jing coming up and all sorts of good stuff. So we've got a ton of material coming out. My current Patreon supporters are Adam G, Alley Cat, Annie Lamaster, Brianna Santiago, Carmen Gabriano, Carolyn Bouchard, Crystal McGinn, Daily Empress, Fatima, Galatia 9, Gary Fink, Hot Chocolate, Jessica Mante, John Foote, Kim Wilson, KSW, La Ami, Nee Flowers, Richard Zeh, Scott Miller, and Shintaro Kuga, Sinai Zamora, and Trino Iraverio. If you would like to join the crowd of people that support me on Patreon, link in the description. And as always, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.